Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Paige. I am a published author ×3 and I am here to talk about all things writing. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than what I have been doing. It's going to be less of a tutorial on how to do something and more of a actual writing vlog. I am just finishing up my newest poetry collection, Chronically Me. This will be released on September 17th of this year. So I am really excited to say that I am finally done with this and it is in the process of publication right now. That being said, I do have a couple of other things to work on, but this means that I don't have any poetry to work on. So today I'm going to be focusing on novels. So the main novel that I am working on is a fantasy novel following a girl named Emryn, who is the heir of a fallen kingdom called Eredin. So essentially this book follows Emryn in her journey to rebuild not only her kingdom but herself. She is a necromancer, and in her world that is something that is highly frowned upon, not something that you want to be and not something that people want to be around. So Emryn is trying to rebuild her reputation as well as trying to save her people from a tyrant king. It's also sapphic, so you know that makes it just 10 times better. But I just recently came up with another little novel idea that I'm thinking I might want to start working on a little bit more. Essentially this little story idea that I have follows a character who has schizophrenia, and they have just been taken to not quite a psych ward, but almost like a home for people with mental issues. I don't know too much about it yet, but I know kind of the goal is to cause a lot of confusion. Is this character really schizophrenic? Is he really seeing ghosts? Is any of this real, or is he just an unreliable narrator? What is happening? So I don't really have a plot yet. That would be kind of something that I would need to work on today if I do choose to go that route. But I have this kind of character and a little seedling of an idea, so we'll see. I did just recently introduce this idea on my Instagram at PM_write0. I did a video about the aesthetic that has kind of inspired me to start working on this story more. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. You can go see my Pinterest board that I have created for this story. And yeah, I hope you find it interesting. But anyway, I do a lot of my best writing when I go to a coffee shop. So I have decided that for this video today, I am going to be going to a local coffee shop and working on one of these works. I haven't decided quite which one yet, but that's okay because I'm not at the coffee shop yet, and I can decide that when I get there. I'm gonna take you guys through sort of my essentials that I take with me when I go to a coffee shop or library or wherever else I am writing. So let's get into that. The first thing is going to be my bag, of course. I take this with me everywhere I go. It is really big, so I can fit my computer, books, pen, whatever I want to bring with me, I can fit it in here. So she's perfect for me. If I'm working on poetry, I oftentimes bring my other collections with me because I find it really motivating. And then I can also go back and look at what I did in this collection or this collection, and it just really helps me kind of stay focused and remember what I did for other collections. Since I'm not working on poetry today, I won't be taking my books with me, but just as a note, sometimes I do bring them. Then I have, of course, my planner. I just recently started using a planner, but I really like it actually. So I will put on there what I need to do for that day and cross it off. I'm very much a list person, so this has helped me so much. And then I will also write on here oh, when I hit a word count goal, I can put that on the day that I hit the goal. Or when I was ordering proof copies, I would write that down. I would also write post ideas, and it helps keep me really organized and remember what I have to do and what I have already done. Then I bring this notebook. She is so cute, love her so much. This is where I store my outline to carry with me. I do have an outline on my computer as well, but sometimes it helps me to see it written out. So here is my little outline. I have it written out by act. This is not complete. I have about 2 acts written, so I still need to have the 3rd one done. And then also in this notebook, I have a word count tracker goal. So when I hit a word count goal, I will cross that off so I can keep track of things, and it helps keep me motivated. And then I have also been doing a monthly word count goal. There are a lot of zeros on there. I've fallen off a bit this month, but it still helps me because I know what I've gotten done, and then at the end of the month I can look back and be like, wow, I actually accomplished that. You will never find me without my Papermate pens. These are my absolute favorite. They have sort of like a triangular like form to them, and they write so smoothly. I carry these pens in my bag at all times, and I also keep a lone pencil with me just in case. I use these guys for everything. And then last but of course not least, I take my MacBook with me. This is where I do all of my writing. If I'm planning, I will sometimes write things out manually, like I use my notebook for that. But if I'm actually writing, I am typically typing on my MacBook. So, of course, gotta have her. So I'm going to get all of those things packed into my bag, and then I will be all set to leave for the coffee shop. Alright, I am heading to the coffee shop now, and I will meet you guys there. So I am now back home. I'm gonna go in, unpack my stuff, and then I will kind of go over with you guys what I worked on while I was at the coffee shop. Alright, so I am now unpacked, back in my room. I have everything set back up on my desk. So now I'm gonna kind of go over like what I did while I was at the coffee shop. So starting off, I updated my word count trackers because honestly, I have not updated those in probably a week. So I went back and recorded all of the writing that I did in the past week-ish to get that caught back up. Tomorrow I will actually be able to go through and count up the total words that I wrote for August. I'll share that with you guys in a future video. I actually did not get to updating my planner yet, but it's okay, there is still time in the day, I can do that. But I actually decided to work on the news story idea that I touched on a little bit earlier. So to start, I went through the Pinterest board that I had started on. I kind of looked through that to get ideas flowing. And I actually went to my name inspiration board on Pinterest as well. And I went through and I made a list of names that I could potentially use for characters. So these are the names that we are working with so far. I have not decided what the main character's name will be. These names are actually going to be used for the main character and the love interest. This is going to be a queer story as well. So I'm going to try and pick out of this list of names for both the main character and the love interest. I'm just not entirely sure what name fits each of them yet. I also want to show you guys the Pinterest board so I can kind of show you the aesthetic that I'm going for here. I did find 2 male models that kind of like fit my idea for what the 2 main characters look like, and I did add those into the board as well so you can kind of see like who I'm imagining. So here is what we have for the Pinterest board so far. These are the 2 male models that kind of fit the vibes of the characters that I have created so far. Still unnamed, of course, but they kind of fit that vibe. So here is this little Pinterest board that we have. This is kind of the ideas that I'm working with here. So having shown you guys the Pinterest board, I started working on like the brainstorm document. If you watched my writing process video, you know that I kind of start with the brainstorm document. Like that is what helps me get all of my ideas onto the paper. So I started this brainstorm document. This is what I have the list of names in as well. And I just kind of started like writing down anything that could possibly happen, any ideas that I have right now, so I can keep track of them. So I made that list of like brain dump ideas. I wrote a tiny bit of like, I don't want to say a scene or like dialogue, but I wrote a little bit of like kind of what I think the vibe or like the voice of the story is going to be like. I actually started writing it in first person, which is kind of strange for me because I typically write in third person, so this is something different, but I feel like it just really works for this story. This is the little drabble that I ended up writing today. Not really sure how this connects to the story itself, but you know, that's okay because this is just a brainstorm document and we're just writing random things down. I was kind of simultaneously working on my chapter outline. So typically I go from brainstorm document to chapter outline, but I have a decently clear vision of what I want to happen in chapter 1. So I did actually start typing that out, which I will show you guys in just 1 second. Again, if you watch my other video, you'll know that I make kind of a table and I do like chapter numbers on one side and like the description or the ideas that I have for the chapter on the other side. I don't know if I drew attention to this yet, but I am calling this Project Psych for now since there is not a running title. But this is kind of what I got down for the chapter outline for chapter 1. So basically it's going to have the main character driving to like this home for the mentally ill with his parents, kind of like reflecting on how he got there, and then they'll give him like a tour, of course. And I think mainly I want this chapter to follow like his thoughts, how he is feeling about the process, and then there's gonna be like a brief introduction to some other characters as well. That is essentially what I got done so far. I do plan on writing more later today, so I will of course take you guys with me for that, but that is just my little recap of what I got done at the coffee shop. I'm gonna take a quick break and I will be back with you guys. Okay, we are back from our little break and it is time to get back to writing. I, of course, still have my iced coffee from earlier that I'm going to be working on, even though it is now 5:30 in the afternoon. It's a necessity. And we also have a candle for the ambiance. It is a jasmine and saffron and it smells amazing. So for this writing session, I actually worked on my fantasy novel a little bit more. I was kind of feeling inspired to work on it, so gotta jump on that while we have the inspiration. So I worked on a scene that is kind of towards like the middle end-ish of the book. I started writing a scene of conflict between the main character and the love interest. This is kind of the point where the main character is like feeling kind of down about themselves and the love interest is kind of trying to like make them see reason. They get into this argument. So I worked on that scene. Before that, I also did look into like writing a slow burn romance. I kind of went on Pinterest and I looked at some sites that talked about like how best to write a slow burn romance, because I think that is something in my book that maybe I'm not quite hitting right now. I think the action in my book has been going really well, but I think I need to work a little bit more on the romance aspect. So I did a little bit of research into that, and then I went ahead and started writing a scene of conflict between them. But so far today has been really good as far as like writing, plotting, all that good kind of stuff, catching up on my word count tracker. It has been a pretty productive day, so I will call that a win. And I think I might even write a little bit more tonight. I'm not 100% sure yet. I probably won't film it just because honestly I'm probably gonna type it on my phone because I'm feeling a little tired. But progress is progress, so I will take anything I can get. I am really excited to keep working on this novel. I really hope I can get it done within the next year-ish is kind of the goal at the moment. So I'm really excited to keep documenting that with you guys, and I hope you really enjoyed today's video. I am going to end the vlog for today. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any video requests for me, feel free to drop those in the comments. I will look at those and I will definitely get on that for you guys. If not, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.